Okay, so I got to get this off my chest. I spent about 3 hours yesterday grilling one of the owners of one of the top mortgage companies in my area. And as a real estate agent, I see this stuff all the time. I'm immersed in it. I'm knee deep in it. And I put my own money where my mouth is. You recently just saw me buy, fix, flip a house in this market. And I want to put everything I have in my head out here on the camera in the next, I don't know, however long this takes. And kind of like put a lot of things aside that you're hearing with some of these gurus on the internet. Look, I get everybody wants a housing crash. And a lot of these guys on the internet, and I listen to them too, they are just getting rich talking about a housing crash. And I'm going to set this straight on whether we are going to have a housing crash or we're not. I mean, we're hearing rumors of reverse bubble. We're hearing rumors of bubble. We're hearing rumors of crash. We're having rumors of all kinds of weird stuff right now with the talking heads. So as somebody that put their money where their mouth is recently, I'm going to tell you my thoughts. And I'm going to set the scenario of what's going on right now. We have high prices, high interest rates. We have the mortgage industry trying to figure itself out. Some weren't really profitable in the last year. The market froze kind of in its place, but here on the Gulf Coast, we had 1 million people move here. We have resale that can't figure itself out because there's old houses, there's insurance problems. The builders didn't build enough. Housing affordability is the worst it's been in a long time, like 30 years. And I'm going to put some things on the screen right here with the Case-Shiller index. Okay, that's home price index across the country, says the prices are not falling, okay? They're not falling as the interest rates have gone up, and the Fed has blinked. They have said they are going to start reducing rates. I think it's going to be 0.25 times 3, so we'll be 0.75 lower than we are right now. I talked to the owner of one of the mortgage companies around here, and he's seeing hybrid loans starting to come out that are able to fix some of these. And I said from the beginning, if you go watch my videos from last year and the year before, the price will not change. They will fix the payment. Most people marry their payment, they purchase their payment, they don't purchase the price. Okay? So they're going to come out with a lot of different loans that will allow you to, one, close these some houses that have insurance problems, allowing more properties to be closed. But two, I'm seeing 5.75% VA loans right now, okay? The frenzy number is 5.5%. A lot of us think that. Though at 5.5%, we will see things starting to come back on the market. I'm going to do another video on short-term rentals. I'm smelling it right now at the local level, especially here in Pensacola, that a lot of these politicians think they're going to fix the housing market by getting rid of short-term rentals or making it harder to have one established. Like if you have one already, they'll allow you to get a permit for it or some type of ability to use it as a short-term, like it's grandfathered in. And then the new ones they won't allow. Or they're just going to like tax the crap out of it and it's not going to be profitable. Most of them aren't once you get the proper insurance that's more expensive. But we'll slowly see some of these short-term rentals not being a viable option and having to come back on the market. But I don't think that's going to fix the market. You're not going to add to the rental supply enough to solve the housing crisis. Politicians are going to have to get crafty. So the Fed gave us the poison pill of the mortgage between 2 and 3%. 60% of mortgages that are out there right now are below 4%. Those properties are not coming back on the market. The 3% properties definitely are not coming back on the market. If they have a 3% mortgage, forget about it, okay? We have record numbers of properties absorbed by corporations, whatever you want to call them, holding companies, that these properties are never coming back on the market. This is all setting up a very interesting situation that I'll tell you that nobody can tell you what's going to happen for sure. And my opinion evolves daily. But minus a black swan event, okay, I do not see real estate, especially here on the Gulf Coast, coming down at all, okay? If it is, I mean, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all these guys said 10 to 15% at the start of this. And if it did, I'd say it come down 10%, but it's just not happening. And we're on that bell curve where the interest rates are starting to come down. We are starting to see what the repercussions of them raising the rates all of a sudden. We're starting to see that right now with the market starting to get frozen. I've seen houses sitting 30 days now. Okay, mine didn't because I priced it right. But I'm starting to see people get frozen. But now I'm starting to see buyers starting to come in. And I'm looking and I'm listening to the mortgage lenders, how many loans they're originating here and how many applications they're getting, and I'm noticing it's starting to pick up, especially here on the Gulf Coast. If something happens and I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to walk point and be like, Chicken Little, run, okay? And I would probably get more views saying that. But I cannot just walk out and say that when right now I'm not seeing it. And the data is just not there saying that let's run. Because, trust me, I'd be there to catch the properties on the way down. I would love for the market to fall apart. Would have been waiting for. But it's just not there. It's just not there. The numbers on the Case-Shiller report are saying things are the same and picking up. Okay? I think at the end of next year, we are going to see prices starting to pick back up for sure. I think there's going to be a frenzy at the end of this cycle, like the end of this year. The big variable is going to be the presidential race and what they do with rates. I've said from the beginning, going into election year, they will not have a stagnant economy. No politician in their right mind would want a stagnant economy when they're trying to get reelected. The S&P 500 is going to be their meter. So you keep this in mind. So for me, I would not hesitate to buy a property. I would buy it right. If you look at all these people, have Uncle Joe, Cousin Susie, all telling everybody to not buy, and they've set this out. They're taking the chance of being left behind from the housing market altogether. Because if you waited to buy in 2020 to now, prices have gone up 60%. In some places, 100%. The numbers are staggering, okay? Just go look around. You might never afford that house if you waited, okay? Or what you're going to afford is drastically different. What you can afford. So you can't not go in the market. You can't afford to stay out of the market. You have to try to make a tactical offer. You know, if something is sitting on the market 45 days, just make an offer that's 10% under, but still buy the property. Do the little reno that it needs, and you're there. Okay, 20%. Last 3 properties I got under contract as a real estate agent were 5%, 10% under. I just made them an offer, and it got accepted. Nobody wants to hold a property, and especially if agents are trying to sell it and they're at that time horizon of losing the listing, they will try to make it happen. And I noticed there was a lot of hungry agents in December. They were talking to me totally different. It was like all of a sudden, you know, when last year they wouldn't even call you back, year 4 they wouldn't even call you back, and then this year when they see you get an appointment, they're texting you before you get there to see if you need anything. Things were a little different. But I can see the numbers and what's happening here, and I'm going to purchase property at the beginning of this year, and I am going to hold it probably until the end of the year, knowing that interest rates are going to cause a frenzy here on the Gulf Coast. I think we'll see people moving for politics. I think we'll see people moving just for pleasure, and then this hybridization of working from home is going to make the Gulf Coast absolutely the place to be, because you can sit on the beach and work from your computer. Makes common sense. I like to look at all this in a common sense way. I don't like to sophisticate it. And that's really my plan. This is my thought. As I was making this video, some of the inflation numbers are kind of coming out. There's a little report out. Look, the price of things is not going down. Not really at the rate in which we would like for it to come down. These prices are not going to go back to where they were prior to the cough. They're going to stay the same and not go up as much, okay? It's still going up. You can't afford to stay out of assets. and I say this as somebody that's out of assets other than my personal home, you're going to have to figure out how to get into high yield savings accounts, how to purchase property, stocks, tangible assets. For me, invest in your personal business first, then buy real estate, then maybe stocks and stuff afterwards. But if you stay out completely, your money through inflation is going to get diluted at a rate that is going to boggle your mind, especially if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in a bank account. At 3, 4, 5, I think it's really 6, 7, 8% times however many hundreds of thousands of dollars you have out there. It's some money. It could be a new vehicle for some people. So you got to say, I've got to stay in assets somehow, and I got to figure out how to buy them at a discount. And that's where the real estate investing, the real estate flipping is a key thing to learn as you go through your whole portfolio building. And as these prices keep going up, they're not going to come back down to where they were before. We are in a new environment, new rules. I've been saying this for a long time. So in conclusion, if you're a politician out there, if you're a market maker, here's my thoughts. One, you got to make all these resale properties, these older homes out here that have problems, make the ability for them to close them. You got to fix insurance. You got to fix insurance where there's some ability to close these properties with a loan. Most of the properties are bought with a loan. You got to figure out how to structure the permit process to make it more streamlined for investors to go in, buy these properties, renovate these properties, and put them back on the market for a regular homeowner to buy. The permitting process is too complex. Everything doesn't need a permit. Okay, just hold the flippers accountable for bad stuff with a seller's disclosure and maybe a little more teeth on it, because a lot of these agents and a lot of these flippers don't like to do seller's disclosures. Hold their feet to the fire. If it's safe, solid, and sound, let it go. Okay, things will start to move. You got to incentivize new construction and to let them build some bull crap. Okay, incentivize it, make the permit process quicker for them, and make them build good stuff. You got to bring stuff on the market. You got to get old people to, or you got to get the old properties to list, and then you got to incentivize buyers to buy it. And you really messed up on the interest rates. Okay, they tried to mess with the market with these interest rates, and they had already messed the market up with the very low interest rates. And you're gonna have it's gonna take a long time for this to filter itself out, 7 to 10 years, because most people, want to stay on a property 7 years. That we could go on and on with this back and forth, but I will say this, that if you stay out of the market, you're going to get left behind. If you get in the market, you got to do it right. You can't get away from the numbers. Use a competent real estate agent that knows what they are talking about. When I say competent, watch my videos on it, because they're not all the same. You got to get somebody that's actually doing deals all the time, that actually has a digital resume where you can go online and look them up. If you can't go online and look them up, they ain't doing business, okay? And the entire thing about real estate agents is if you cannot find them, then nobody's going to find your property. Okay? They got to be good marketers. And that's really my rant on this. I wanted to set it straight. Don't listen to so many of these. If you're going to listen to the naysay, like talking heads, listen to the other side too. Because the real answer is somewhere in the gray. I don't think politicians are going to let the market fall apart, because real estate is the backbone of our economy. If it falls, so does everything. Minus a black swan event, which I will say is either going to be the car industry, the commercial real estate industry, student loans, or something we haven't seen yet. But if those don't break, real estate will keep going up. I hate to say it, but it's just inflation in progress. It's what happens when you print 20% of all the dough in the history of the United States inside of a few years. That's all I got. Comment down below with your theory, whether you like it, love it, or whatever it is. Let's see what you got. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're looking to buy or sell a real estate, if you're looking to sell, buy, get rid of real estate here on the Gulf Coast, my email is down below. I'd love to help you with it. And if I can't help you, I'll find somebody that can. I'll see you guys in the next one.